Morning.
Hey mate, how are you going?
Not too bad. Happy winter, first week of winter, and it
Yeah,
certainly feels like it.
yeah. Ski season starts tomorrow, and they've got a fair bit of snow.
Yeah, foot of snow up at Hotham over the last couple of days. So, yep, plenty around. First time I've seen sun in about 10 days today, so that's nice too.
Yeah, nice way to finish the week,
Yeah.
mate. Obviously, leading into the long weekend, we had a really strong move in the Dow last night. Tech was obviously sold off, and everything but tech was bought up. But our market hasn't really chased it this morning.
No, you saw the American markets behaving a little bit like there is no war or it's over. And
Yes.
last night you saw some profit taking in the AR stuff that's ran really high, and people sort of taking the opportunity to buy the dip, I guess you'd say, on the other side of the equation. But yeah, it didn't flow through to here this morning.
Yeah, no, and certainly for us, we've seen a fairly big profit taking in the resource sector. Probably started Wednesday night US time, and then it's flown through over the last 2 days. Rio down about $10 since it topped out. I think on Wednesday afternoon at 195 ish. Back at 184.80 at the moment, so
Yeah,
really been hit hard.
yeah,
BHP's blown off about $4 as well, so
yeah.
that's really helping, really dragging our index down. We're down what 45, 46 points when we had a SPY that was up about 35 points this morning. So a real
Yeah.
reversal from where the SPY traders thought we'd be.
Yeah, I got to say, I didn't see that coming this morning. I mean, the healthcare sector and defensive last night did really well in the US, and you
Yeah.
sort of thought, health, those sort of things could have flowed through this morning, but yeah, not as much as it possible.
No, certainly not driving the index. It's interesting to see CSL's had a solid bounce. It's up about 3% today.
Yeah,
Probably a stock that's seen a lot of profit taking or tax loss selling, and
yeah,
it will probably continue into end of June, but a decent bounce following that healthcare sector move in the
yeah,
US.
yeah.
So
Got a few ideas for today. Probably worth sticking them up on the screen and having a quick look.
let's go through them.
Yeah. So I'll just open up the share screen thing here and then get it moving. So a couple of ideas there. I think the first one we wanted to have a look at was uh,
So
Suncorp.
Suncorp. Yeah. Yeah, so Suncorp's an interesting one. The stock's been really weak over the last sort of 6 months, but it sort of started to turn about a month ago. It's had a pretty decent open this morning. It's up about 1%. That target price we got there, 19.20. The stock's trading at what 17.55 ish. Still a pretty solid amount of ground to make up to get to that target. Um, they did sign up about a month ago a fairly big reinsurance aggregation deal. It's a 5 year sort of deal, and I think it'd be very good for the business. It really just sort of helps them get the structure sort of move in the right direction, and I think it will be seen as very positive by the market over the next few months. So I think for me, writing a put. A 17.50 put out into July would probably be a good strategy if you're happy to buy the stock. If you are happy just to speculate on it, I still think you could write that put, maybe just buy something underneath it for a bit of protection. But I think a 17.50 put would be a good trade to look at in Suncorp for a July exposure.
Yeah, it certainly sticks out. I mean, that's the thing with the market at the moment. There's still opportunities in certain spots, and this is certainly one of them. And the other one was AGL.
Yeah, look, that's another one where we've got a solid research target, $10.70, roughly their consensus. Stock's sort of been sitting around 8.50. It got down about 8.35-ish. Seeing a little bit of a bounce, but definitely see some upside in it. I think we were just looking before the July 8.50 puts are still worth somewhere in the low 20s if you wanted to write those. If you pick up the stock at 8.50 with that target of 10.70-ish, you've got some pretty good upside. Not a bad yield still in place there, and also a good little premium selling those puts. If you don't get exercise, well, yeah, nice premium to pick up for the sort of 5 weeks out to or 6 weeks out to the July expiry.
It's a surprisingly good premium for a smaller priced stock that's trading at 8.50. That's pretty good premium, really.
Yeah, and look, I'd see this trade as a really good one for someone that wants to start getting into utilising some of the option trades you put up. You could sell 100 contracts, $85,000 of stock exposure, but picking up sort of $2,200, as I said, for 6 weeks of time, be a great way to dip your foot in if you want to start getting into doing some of these trades. This would
Yeah,
be a great one to sort of do as a first entry.
yeah,
As long as you're comfortable to buy AGL, but if you are, then this would be a super trade to do as your first entry into the world of selling puts to buy stock.
yeah. I totally agree. The last one we're going to have a look at is Amcor. I did a bit of a deep dive on this earlier in the week. I've got a number of clients that already own it. It's a stock I've followed for a long time, and it's been pretty beaten up, particularly post Iran US conflict. And if you
Yep,
have a good look under the hood, there's a few things worth sort of touching on. There was 300 million taken out of free cash flow, which is never a good look on optics and is often seen as margin squeeze. But in this case, it was actually quite a deliberate management decision to help build inventory. So it wasn't whilst it looks bad, it was a deliberate decision. Um,
yep,
with their Berry acquisition, which actually makes up about 40% of the company now, um, the pass-through rates on their resin, which is a petrochemical product,
yep,
is a lag in the berry side of the business where they can pass it through on the majority of their original business, but a bit harder to pass through on the berry side. So there's a bit of a lag and that's showing up, but that 1 to 3 months is starting to come to an end now. The resin price has jumped by 100% since the conflict, but a big chunk of it they can pass through, but there is a bit of a lag. The last thing is when they did buy Berry, they flagged about 650 million odd dollars in benefits of merging the two. They are way ahead of realizing those benefits. So
yep.
it's a good looking thing. And paying a 7% dividend, and when it's down this low, I think it's a stock that the market sort of turned its nose up at a bit. But you have a good look under the hood, and there's the numbers actually look okay, and they've held on to their guidance. So I think this is a stock that if you own it already, I'd certainly be holding it. And if you wanted to, you could look to accumulate depending on how it looked within your portfolio. And certainly there's some premium in this one as well. You could, if you didn't own it, you could consider selling some puts.
Yeah, I think so too, Gav. I think it's a great one. There is some solid premiums if you do want to take that put route and write a put, maybe one strike out of the money, out of well, out even just out 2 or 3 weeks. There's pretty attractive premiums, but definitely a stock that I think we should take exposure to. They're really Amcor now is a really large global business with that Berry acquisition. So I think it's a core stock that more and more of us should look to own. And I know we've followed it for a while. I do think you'll get the stock back over $60. You've got a 68.80 target there, but I think you'll get it back over $60, especially as soon as things settle in the Gulf. Yeah, there's a lot of upside in this stock.
Yeah, yeah, certainly one to and if you didn't have it in your portfolio, it certainly doesn't look out of place given its size and its broader international exposure as well. So that's it for
Yeah,
the ideas for
excellent.
this week.
Definitely, mate. Thanks for that. And
Great.
look, hopefully you get a warm weekend down there.
Yep. I'll be wearing the beanie, I think. Anyway,
Sounds good. Righto,
see you
mate.
later.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.